Hello, I'm Cory, and these are the 5 books I read in January of 2025. Now, when I say I love reading, I do, but I haven't been as faithful to it until this year. I really started trying to read more, and I'm proud of myself for a slow start of being able to read 5. So, the first book I read this month was Liar Mouth by John Waters. I found John Waters in December when Criterion Collection released a bunch of his movies onto their website, and I watched them. I fell in love with them. In my eyes, John Waters is a revolutionary. He's a brilliant filmmaker, and I love this book. This is his only fiction book that he has. He has several non-fictions, and I'm going to start listening to those, but I start with the fiction because that's normally what I read. Let me just read the synopsis of the book. So, Marcia Sprinkle is a suitcase thief, scammer, master of disguise. Dogs and children hate her. Her own family wants her dead. She's smart, she's desperate, she's disturbed. And she's on the run with a big chip on her shoulder. They call her Liar Mouth until one insane man makes her tell the truth. Now, Marcia is definitely the main character of this book, but it also follows a wide cast of characters, including some of her family, her daughter, her ex-husband, her mom. And it also follows one of the guys that used to help her in her thieving. It's a crazy, funky time. I have never read a book as insane as Liar Mouth. I cannot recommend it enough. This book was definitely a 5-star, and it was such a wonderful way to start the year. The next book is also related to movies. That was Criterion Collection also released a bunch of Nicole Kidman movies, and I watched The Stepford Wives, and it got me really wanting to read the book. So yeah, the next book was Stepford Wives. Now, this book is similar to the movie, but it's also widely different. The book is more unsettling. With the movie, they kind of give you what, if you've seen it, you know, they give you like a reason of why all this is happening in this little suburban town. In the book, it's not as clear, and that's what makes it so much more unsettling. It wasn't a 5-star read. It was definitely a 4, but it was phenomenal. Era 11, who wrote the book, is such a master writer. It's, as you can see, it's tiny. This book was everything it needed. It was like a piece of bacon with no fat. It was just trimmed. It was beautiful. It was well executed. It's such a good, and you know, it's a critique on the heteronormative society and like how people think women should be. And next book I read was a short little novella called Patriotism, and this follows a man who his friends, plot twist, turn out to be rebels, and he feels this deep tie to be loyal to his country, but also loyal to his friends. So him and his wife decide that they are going to kill themselves. And it follows their last night. It follows in detail like them making love for the last time. It's such a beautiful little book. Saying that, it definitely was a 3-star, though. It really wasn't anything super, super special. The next book, though, was a 4.75, and that is Last Days by Brian Evenson. This book is freaking crazy like Liar Mouth, but in a different way. So we follow a man who, to save his life, amputated himself and cauterized a wound. And because of that, a cult of people who believe amputating themselves brings them closer to God gets an interest in him. And it just follows the madness that ensues when he gets pulled into that cult. Freaking crazy, trippy. I read it in almost a day. It was freaking insane. I cannot recommend it enough at all. And the last book I read is a 3-star. And it has a movie adaptation. I haven't watched it yet. And that is Queer. Now, this book is quietly depraved, I would say. It's sad. It follows a 40-year-old man in Mexico who is longing after this other man. And it's just, the way he views him is not like a person. It's more as like, he's like a commodity. He's like a desire. He's something he wants so bad. And the way that he views the world, the way he talks about other men is just kind of disgusting. Now, I will give you like a little spoiler warning, a little trigger warning, I should say. The way that they talk about some young people in this book is disgusting and creepy. And I don't think that he is supposed to be a likable character. I don't think that's what the reason for this is all. It's for him to be likable. But I just wanted to note that because it is disturbing with that. But it was very beautifully written, and I enjoyed reading it. But it just wasn't the best thing I've ever read. I dropped the books.